I'm gonna go based on the posts that I shared. So I don't know if you can see. There, it was a picture, a cartoon, so it's not 100% anatomically correct. Everything's a lot more squished, but it shows the bladder, the vagina leading up to the uterus, and it shows the bowel, all with the pelvic floor muscles slinging underneath, with your pubic bone at the front and your tailbone at the back. So I want to show you here as well. And the reason why I'm just showing you these is because I often see videos of pelvic floor experts and they give you the basic exercises to sort out your pelvic floor, to get you connected, and sometimes it feels like it's starting off a little bit advanced. And they're lying on the floor and they're basically going, okay, lie on the floor and then squeeze and lift your pelvic floor muscles. What if you can't feel that? So anyway, before I get on a tangent to go on my soapbox, what are the pelvic floor muscles? So your pelvic floor muscles here are the muscles that fill the gap between all the bones in your pelvis. So you've got your pubic bone here at the front, you've got your ischial tuberosities, you've got your sitting bones here. These are what you sit on, either side of your glutes, kind of top of your thigh. So imagine if your thigh is sitting out here when you're sitting down, that's what you're sitting on, yeah? Then you've got your tailbone at the back, which is what you can feel if you're sitting on a hard concrete floor, something like that. This is what often gets damaged if you fall over. So between all of that, if we didn't have the pelvic floor muscles, then there'd be a massive hole here, yeah? And all of your organs, these lovely things, plus your intestines and everything else on top of that, they wouldn't have anything to hold them in place. They'd all fall out. So that's the first role of the pelvic floor muscles. They are there to hold your insides in, which is pretty important if you ask me. The next role is to, I'm going to grab my notes because anyone who's listened to me knows I have a tendency to waffle. Relax and contract in response to movement, including breathing. So that's the second role. These are in no particular order. But the second role of the pelvic floor is to relax and contract in response to movement. So if you are coughing, it's going to flex, it's going to give. If you breathe, when you breathe in, the air is coming into the body, pelvic floor stretches against that pressure, and then as you breathe out, it comes back up. So it has that natural flow, and it's meant to kind of have a little bit of a bounce, a bit of a give when you are walking and when you are moving, when you're putting that impact through the body. It is, next one, transfer load and messages. So it transfers load and messages from our legs to our torso and back again. So when we're walking and we're taking that step, if I come up and see our pelvis and we're stepping forward, there's messages coming up the leg, up across the pelvis, across here, because this arm is going forward as well. So all those messages, and then we go the other way, and it goes the other way. So all of those messages are going through, they're going through our ab muscles, they're going through our glutes, they're going through our pelvic floor, which link onto our legs. So they need to be able to communicate with the rest of our body as well, and transfer the load, transfer the messages. And number 4, they need to relax and they need to be able to contract to support continence and toileting. So our pelvic floor muscles need to be able to relax when we're sitting on the toilet to let everything go. If everything's a bit too tight through injury or overtraining, then we won't be able to let go, we won't be able to give birth properly, we might have interventions during birth, things like that, or we might end up constipated, or we might end up with UTIs because we can't evacuate fully. Then on the other hand, they need to be able to be tight enough to hold everything in when we don't need to go. Okay, so that is what the pelvic floor muscles do. And what do we have in common? What do all these things have in common? Apart from when we're sleeping or lying down with a good book or something, what are we doing most of the time? We are breathing for a start, which happens all the time, but we're moving, we're upright, yeah? We're walking along, la 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 la, impacts going through all the time. This is a constant active, constantly active set of muscles. So we're moving, there's impact, we're breathing, there's stretching, it's giving, it's holding to go to the, or to stop us going to the toilet, it's releasing to go to the toilet, or releasing if we want to give birth or have sex, it's relaxing then. It is just, yeah, we spend most of our life either standing up or sitting up, okay? And all of the pressure through life goes onto our pelvic floor. So why is it, okay, so if that's what our pelvic floor muscles do, why do we train them while we're in that position? Well, there is a good reason to do that, and the main reason is if you're struggling to find that connection. So like I said, if you're lying on your back and someone says, squeeze your pelvic floor and lift, you don't know how to do that. Just lying on your back takes the gravity off, takes that pressure off from your organs weighing down on it, from all the breathing, from everything, just putting that pressure on your pelvic floor. It takes the pressure off. So then you can kind of close your eyes, you can breathe, you can think about it, you can just see if you can connect those muscles, just feel different things and then lift. But that's where it ends. So once you've got that, there is no point in staying there and doing the training, because that is training the muscles in isolation. It's not training them for life when you're up here and you're walking and you're putting impact and you're breathing and you're shouting and you're coughing and you're doing normal everyday life things that you do for 20, maybe not 20 hours a day, 16 hours a day. Say if you sleep 8 hours a night, 16 hours a day, up and about on here, putting pressure on the pelvic floor, okay? So what I want to challenge you to do is, if you go and see somebody and you can't find the pelvic floor muscles and someone says squeeze and lift and you don't know how, tell them that you don't know how and see if they can just help you get that visualization right and get that working a bit better. Because there's no point in someone saying do a squeeze and lift and you go okay, and you don't really know if you're doing it or not, or you're bearing down, or you're doing something that's just not working. So lying down, finding that, getting connected is what I do first and foremost. If you can do that, then let's get upright. We'll do some sitting, we'll do some in standing, so you've got that pressure to work against, you've got that feedback, and then we'll add movement and make sure everything's all fit for purpose. Okay, so your pelvic floor is a big functioning muscle, it needs to work with everything else, and if you're just lying down, it's not fit for purpose. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully it's brought up a whole manner of other questions, and I would love to chat with you further about it. Again, never selling, but I'll always offer. And yes, so I'll pop the link below, and I look forward to speaking to a lot of you very soon. Okay, bye for now.